networking, referrals, strategies for success, and real-life stories from professionals who are building a business based on relationship marketing. Welcome to the Caerusnet podcast. Here, you'll learn how to stay connected in the local business community and become that person others get to know, like, and trust, and refer to. And now, your host, Caerusnet founder, Steven Zyskowski.
Hey, and welcome to the Caerusnet podcast. Today I've got with me Jeff TenBroeck from J10 Marketing. Jeff has been really just a phenomenal Caerusnet member since he first joined. I really appreciate his positive attitude, his willingness to help folks, and he's been a member of the Brighton Wednesday 10 o'clock team really since he joined Caerusnet. So welcome to the podcast, Jeff. It's good to have you on.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, and I'm super excited to be recording with you today.
Amen. Amen. I've been looking forward to this too. Let's, hey, before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this, I always think it's fun to kind of retrace a little bit history, kind of take just a little look back so we can see where we've been and know where we are now. And the question I've got for you is, because I like to retrace this, who was it that first told you about Caerusnet? How did that go down?
That's a great question, and completely random as well. I don't even think she is a Caerusnet member, to be honest with you. But so this would have been in 2019. I was part of PTN, Power Through Networking. They've got a group in, two groups in the area. And I met someone named Tress Hotzel, and we had a trust builder. And through our conversation, she's like, I know someone named Steve Zyskowski. He runs this group called Caerusnet. I think you might be a really good fit. And here we are today.
Thank you, Tress. It's been a while since I've heard your name, but always brings a smile to my face when I do. And yeah, it's kind of funny. She never was a Caerusnet member. And, I think you always recognize that, for me, I treat everybody equally and care about people. Whether they're a client of mine, not a client of mine, really is kind of irrelevant. The good fits become clients. And if it's not a good fit, they don't become clients, but that doesn't mean we still can't refer each other and be friends. And,
right.
That was trust. She just wasn't herself. She just didn't see herself kind of in that, she doesn't like to be in a box. I'll just put it that way.
No. She's like very free-flowing, easygoing person. Yeah.
But you know what? It's nice that we always remember kind of who put some goodness into our lives. And that's one of the other reasons I always like to bring that up too, because, Caerusnet really, it's only going to, every once in a while, somebody finds me online. But powerful relationships come from a personal testimonial, come from somebody else who says, hey, let me connect you with this person. And, then it's more real. And so I've been really blessed to have you, again, in Caerusnet for the years you've been with us. Let's talk about you and your business a little bit. Maybe you want to give us just the quick outline of J10 Marketing. What's your area of focus and who you're helping today?
Yeah, of course. So I specialize in digital marketing services, everything from web development to search engine optimization over to the social media side of things, whether it's social media management or running paid advertising campaigns on Facebook and Instagram, among other platforms. That's really my bread and butter, and have recently expanded a little bit to offer more content creation services such as photography, videography, along with Google Ads. That's actually a new area that we're moving into as well. So growing, being able to help our clients in a bunch of different spaces has been a real blessing. And on that note, the types of clients that we've been helping out a lot lately are contractors and concert venues. So it's been a lot of fun, and that side has been a real pleasure because it kind of allows me to tap into my radio roots. So always a good time working on those projects.
Yeah, talk about that for a second, a little bit too. What about those radio roots?
Yeah, so when I was, wow, this goes all the way back to middle school. I remember laying in my bedroom listening to my stereo to 89X, RIP, Canadian alternative station based out of Windsor. And when I was going through high school, about to get into college. I really wanted to get in the radio industry. So I decided to hit them up for an internship, and ended up working there for about 5 years before moving on to a different cluster here in Metro Detroit. But it was a lot of fun. I'll say that. Probably the most fun I've ever had at a job. A lot of concerts, a lot of meet and greets, meeting cool people. So definitely look back fondly at those days.
Yeah, and 89X, that's really kind of funny you bring that up. I went to Western Michigan University. I'm dating myself here. I was there from 88 to 92. So, and when I got back to the Detroit side, you could get a really strong signal for 89X. And that's where I learned about Nine Inch Nails and Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes.
I go back to Kalamazoo and be this cool guy that's bringing all this new music with them that nobody had ever heard of before.
Yeah, in fact, not to get too off topic, but it sounds like the gentleman, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but the gentleman who actually started 89X is coming back with a new podcast project where they'll be featuring a lot of those songs we all grew up loving back in the day. So I'm excited to check that out.
All right, sweet. So let's jump into, I think you've already kind of just painted out a little bit about your ideal clients. Let's talk about, what it is like ultimately that you want to help a client achieve, and what you're most passionate about in the space that you're in, because there are a lot of folks that do what you do, and yet each enterprise kind of has a little bit of a different focus in an area where they really feel they can bring value. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, of course. So, the objective we're looking to achieve really varies from client to client, and what type of services they're looking for. But at the end of the day, my main objective is to help my clients grow their business and generate more revenue. So I really like to focus on the lead generation side of things. But like I said, each of my clients have their own unique needs. So for example, if I'm working with a brand new business, they might be more concerned with establishing a digital presence, not so much really growing it. I mean, it's got to start somewhere, right? So building a new website and optimizing it for specific keywords related to their business is going to take a higher importance than necessarily publishing to their social media accounts. So when it comes to my ideal clients, though, it really does vary from service to service. So going back to web development, it could really be anyone, whether you're a brand new business that's looking to create a website or an established one that maybe needs to add a functionality, we can help there. And the same goes for search engine optimization or SEO. It falls within the same category. Now, when you switch over to the social media side of things, I'm a little bit more, selected, for a better term, the clients I like to work with there. And that specifically, like I mentioned earlier, would be contractors. So whether it's heating and cooling, plumbers, painters, love working with all of them. I think they have their spaces. There's a lot of room to educate their clients on the services that they offer and the importance of maintaining different aspects of one's home. And I feel like it's relatively recession proof. Folks are always going to need certain services around their home. You don't want to be caught in the middle of summer with a broken AC unit. I also really enjoy working with, like I said, concert venues. I do a lot of work with Anheuser-Busch and their distributors here in Metro Detroit, promoting the events that they're sponsoring. So for them, I like to run Facebook ad campaigns. We'll typically tie that into a text to win campaign as well, to give away some free tickets, maybe a limo ride, dinner, and obviously tickets to a show. So I'm always looking for folks in those spaces to help them and help them, with their digital needs.
Yeah, sounds like really fun and interesting work with a large variety of things that you get to see,
Yes.
be a part of. And I just think that's really, really cool to have that kind of diversity. Let's talk about your business and talk about networking and that whole thing, because there's a lot of different ways that people can get business. Somebody might decide that they want to send out 100,000 postcards and hope that 1,000 people might be interested, and of those 1,000 people, maybe 50 of them are actually eligible, and of those 50 people, 10
Numbers game.
prospected and 5 buy or 2 buy.
Right.
So, some people just play what I call the numbers game, and just, continually do a numbers game, and it's not as necessarily like relationship driven because it's all about the numbers. And then your space, your goal is to help people get known in the digital realm, right? So to help them have a good website that's going to produce leads and share their why, to have social media that's engaging and interactive and all that stuff. So, I always find it's really cool. I've got in Caerusnet, I have people that do, websites and digital marketing on every single team that I have. And I think, and each one of them, obviously, they've also decided that while that's one space that they put themselves out there in, they also recognize the importance of kind of being connected in a community and having people that can get to know you. So where did you decide in your formation of your business that networking and productive referral relationships might be something that would be helpful to you? When did that come around?
Oh, wow. So it would have been 2019, I want to say. I had recently moved to Howell from the Ferndale, Royal Oak area. To be honest with you, I didn't know anyone in Livingston County. I was going into uncharted territories as far as I was concerned. And like I said, I moved to Howell into an apartment, and it was a 1 bedroom, not super big. And after a couple weeks of working from home, just being isolated from everyone, and I'm a very social person. I was in radio, what can I say? So something had to change. So I started exploring my options. I went on Meetup, went to some different networking groups, checked out the Brighton Chamber. And like I said, that's when I met Tress. And, after speaking with you, Steve, I wasn't quite sure, to be honest with you, how it would play out, because I had never done anything like that before. But after visiting the group and meeting everyone and seeing how important Caerusnet was to all the folks in the group and how it allowed them to grow their business and really develop relationships with folks in the community, I knew I was at where I needed to be. As you always say, you like to do business with folks we know, like, and trust. And Caerusnet has really given me the opportunity to build those relationships and build upon that for my business.
Okay, awesome. Let's talk about Caerusnet then. Let's talk about maybe some experiences that you've had in Caerusnet that you might want to highlight. Maybe a good relationship that's come from it. Something that when you look at it, you go, man, I'm glad that happened. That felt really good. Do you have a story like that you can share?
Sure. I'm going to toot your horn. Steve, you've been instrumental with my growth as a business person. I didn't go to school for business. It's something I kind of just, pushed my way into, and you've definitely been able to take me under your wing and kind of guide me through, what it's like to run a business and how to navigate specific challenges that might come my way. Another relationship that's been really beneficial to me is James Whalen of JC Whalen. He's, we've actually partnered up and are working on, quite a few projects together between, both of our clients. And that's been a great relationship as well, because he's been in digital marketing since I was probably in middle school. So a very long time. And just like me, he's self-taught. He taught himself all the ins and outs of digital marketing over the years. And he's been a fantastic resource. I learn something every time we speak. So, those two relationships alone have been game changing for me. But taking a step beyond that, obviously other relationships I've made with folks in the group, but some of the most fun experiences I've had have been like the golf outing or the member breakfast, getting together with the whole Caerusnet family as a whole and getting to meet folks in different groups and communities I might not have met in the past. It's all invaluable.
Yeah, I love that. And you also mentioned another thing in there too regarding your relationship with James Whalen. It's a really interesting world. Sometimes who we might think of as our competitor could actually become a great relationship. And I believe it was Trisha Turner on our team that told James about Caerusnet, and then James came and visited. And there's a few people that are in similar spaces, and I don't want to ever cheapen the relationships or make people feel like they're not valued. So I always, if there's somebody that's coming into a team that might affect you or somebody else on the team, I want your input first before I say, yeah, let's put them on the team.
Right.
And I think you had to get to know him, and then you discovered that that could be actually a good fit, and you gave it a try. So I think that your openness is one of the reasons that whole thing came to be, because a lot of people would have been like, no, I do that. That person can't be on the team. And then all of a sudden, there's still status quo, and we're
Right.
actually got to increase your business.
Right. Yeah. And I was definitely on the fence. I'll be transparent about that. But you know what? I thought to myself, no, what's the worst that could happen? If he does try to, if something does go awry, I'll get through it. And I rolled the dice, and here we are. So yeah, I feel very fortunate that, I was able to open myself up to the opportunity and see where it went.
Well, hey, we're getting close to the end here too, and now that you've been in Caerusnet for what was it, about 4 years now? I think it's right.
I think
Maybe 5.
Let's see, June. I want to say June 20th, because I know it was right around my sister's birthday of 2019 is when I joined. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's about 4 years then, right now.
hey, yeah,
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Couple weeks.
Yeah, and the time flies so much too. And the other thing that I like about Caerusnet too is that it's something that keeps us also in a good business flow and a business rhythm. When we show up for something consistently and see other people showing up for something consistently at a certain level, right? That's good company to be around, because there's a lot of people that they always are just trying new things, and they never stick around long enough to really see any results from things that they have put some energy into. And then as soon as they don't get a result, they are off to something else. And so one of the things about Caerusnet that I like is that people actually get to surround each other with people that are different lengths of time in business, different industries, but also that for the most part, they're people that they show up. And sometimes, I think, can't remember who said it, but they say something like 90% of success in life is simply continually showing up.
Yeah, yeah, accurate.
So now that you've got this 4 years of experience, you understand a little bit of the ebb and flow that comes in the referral space. We never know exactly, when we're going to get a referral from somebody else. Sometimes we get these little droughts. Sometimes it comes in spurts. Sometimes we get something really fantastic out of it. And now that you have that experience with the ebb and flow of the referral space, you actually started on my team when we were in-person meetings. Now we do it all on Zoom, which saves you a lot of gas money from driving into town.
Oh, yeah.
But so you've seen it now in different formats as well too. Let's say we have a new member join. We might have a new member joining actually at our meeting next week as a referral from Angela Patella on our team. And so let's say you have a trust builder with Megan if she becomes a new member. And she says, Jeff, you've been on the team for 4 years. I'm just getting started. What's a piece of advice that you might have for me to try to ensure my success? What would you tell me would be like one of the most important things I can do?
I think you already mentioned it. It's really staying patient and sticking with it. Like I said, when I joined Caerusnet, I was new to the community. No one knew who I was. They had no reason to trust me. But I stuck with it, really made sure to schedule trust builders and to develop those relationships with the folks on our team. And before I knew it, referrals were coming in and it's getting sales, and is paying for Caerusnet 10 times over. So it made sense, and you just have to trust the process and stick with it. It could be bumpy at first, and especially if you're new to referral groups, it can be really uncomfortable putting yourself out there. I know I certainly was very uncomfortable during my first member minute. I kind of bumbled through it, had no idea what to say, but you get better at that stuff with practice, right? So once again, being repetitive, being present, that would be my biggest advice for a new member in the group.
Yeah, that's very good advice. And I think one of the things that people recognize about Caerusnet, or when they're visiting a team, for example, there's a feeling that the people actually are listening to each other. I mean, I know I do, and I know everybody else does, because people will comment on what the other person says, even if they're off video, putting in a landscaping job or cleaning a house. They're listening closely to what's going on in the meeting, and they want to see you successful. The people that are on these teams, they generally have big hearts. They're relatable to each other, because if you've been in business, it's like skydiving without a parachute sometimes. And
Sure.
it's good to have other people that have your back. And yet to me, one of the things that I've discovered is the importance of being able to create referrals purposefully. That to me, giving people referrals gives them lots of reasons to keep me top of mind. A client that they just got done working with, that might help them do their grocery shopping or whatever else, remember where their business comes from. So I have different checkoff points, especially during trust builders, or when I'm meeting a new business for the first time. Jim Campbell taught me the importance of asking a business, what's one of your biggest challenges in business right now? They're coming to see me for new relationships and being a part of something, but that might not be their biggest challenge, right? Their biggest challenge might be getting known in social media space or other things. So I always ask a business, what's your biggest challenge? Or you're seeing me today about joining a networking group, but what other things are on that business to-do list that might have been there for a little while that you still need to resolve, right? Could be succession planning. It could be, getting a good payroll company, and who knows? But to me, I think that if we can find certain checkpoints in our interactions with our clients, whether they're existing clients that we're just catching up with or meeting with again, and say, hey, just out of curiosity, I just want you to know I want to be super helpful. I know a lot of other businesses, and I want to see you successful. What other things are going on in your business you could use help with outside of the marketing wheel, right? And when we do those things, because we've asked, people usually open up to us. And if we can be somebody that provides that answer or gives them that person that can make it happen, what a huge difference.
I couldn't agree more. You want to be Mo to them.
Yes, thank you, Mo. We want to be Mo to you might expect. That's great. I love you, Jeff. You picked up on that right away.
No,
listen, are you going to be at the member breakfast this year? Are you going to be able to?
100%. 100%. I wouldn't miss it. I had a great time last year and the year before, and I don't plan on missing a single one.
Fantastic. Well, I will look forward to seeing you. I appreciate all you're doing in Caerusnet. In terms of people wanting to connect with you, if somebody's interested in learning more about, if you could be somebody that can help them in their business, what does that look like in terms of somebody that might want to connect with you or have a meeting with you?
Well, kind of going back to my ideal client, depending on the service or their specific needs, it varies there. But I would recommend that if anyone wants to have a conversation, explore their digital marketing options, just give me a call or shoot me an email, or reach out to you to get connected. I know that you'd be more than happy to send them my way, or even on social. I would recommend going the Facebook route if they would like to connect with me there. But that's what I'd recommend.
Yeah, I appreciate that answer. Your information is going to be in the drop downs on YouTube and Spotify, so there'll be links right to your website. I also wanted to add that Caerusnet is kind of putting together, the wording isn't this, but like a board of advisors, a trusted panel of friends, I'll put it that way. And I appreciate that you have been helping my wife, Ava, kind of refining our social media presence. And because it's, as you know, when you're a business owner, you can only do so much. And I'm glad to have a chief volunteer officer now at Caerusnet that can take some things off my desk. And you've been really very helpful and generous and clear with strategies for us. So I know that the information that you give people really is a gem. So thank you so much, Jeff TenBroeck, for all you do in Caerusnet. Jeff's a great person to have a trust builder with. Come to the member breakfast, say hello. And J10 Marketing, great having you on the show, Jeff.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. It's been a real pleasure.
All the places